Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Justine Stewart.
And I'm Louis Stewart. Hopefully having a good start to your Tuesday. Justine, we have one more day.
One more day of this.
Let's get through it, and then we're going to bring in some much needed cooler temperatures by the end of the week.
We need this help so much.
I know, and it looks like it's going to roll in. We do, though, have to deal with another day of high fire danger and also some poor air quality out there. As high pressure overhead is just staying in place, but unlike the past several months, 2 months at least, it's not going to hang around. It's going to start breaking down by this afternoon and evening. But until it does, we are going to have to deal with the dry weather. That's going to give us a red flag warning for today and pushing into tomorrow morning. 12 a.m. is when that'll end. Winds out of the west-southwest anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts of around 30 miles per hour. And then air quality alert until Tuesday, 9 a.m. this morning. It'll be reevaluated. Those are for the following counties you see on your screen. A quick look at your temperatures for today, mostly in the 80s, again above average. 87 in Missoula, 84 Kalispell, 85 Hamilton, 81 in Polson.
DNA tests confirm a teenager who had been reported missing and in danger as one of the victims in a brutal Missoula murder last month. Missoula County Sheriff T.J. McDermott says the dismembered bodies of 15-year-old Marilyn Pickett and 24-year-old Jackson Wiles, both of Missoula, were found in the basement of a Strand Avenue home in August. The Montana Department of Justice had issued a missing endangered person advisory that was for Pickett on August 17th, saying that she had last been seen in the company of Wiles. The bodies had been placed into plastic tubs filled with chemicals, with an initial investigation indicating that Pickett and Wiles died from stab wounds. The bodies were found August 17th when police arrived at the home with a search warrant in connection with a reported home invasion burglary stabbing that occurred July 23rd. Two suspects identified as 23-year-old Tiffany Pierce and 26-year-old Augustus Standing Rock were taken into custody in connection with those murders. Drugs are a suspected factor in a crash which killed 2 Kalispell women. The head-on crash happened near the Glacier Park International Airport just before noon on Sunday. Flathead County Sheriff Chuck Curry says 32-year-old Holly Richards of Bozeman and 40-year-old Linda Contreras of Riverside, California died in the crash. The Montana Highway Patrol says Richards was driving northbound while Contreras was driving southbound on Highway 2 when Richards crossed into the southbound lane, colliding with Contreras head-on. Both women were pronounced dead at the scene. 133 people have died on Montana's roads just this year. 4 dogs, along with a few other pets, died after being caught in a house fire last night. That's according to Jeff Brandt with the Missoula Fire Department.
Our primary search of the structure, there were no people found. For primary, secondary search of the structures, there were 4 dogs total that we've pulled out so far, and then some other animals that didn't make it.
Just after 6 p.m., the Missoula Fire Department responded to that house fire at the 2300 block of Gilbert Avenue. Brandt said the first responders immediately put the fire out and knocked to the ceiling and walls to search for secondary fires. There was extensive smoke and fire damage throughout the front part of that home, but crews still tried to save some of the home's owners' valuables. Brandt said the cause of that fire is unknown at this time. That remains under investigation. A state legislative committee votes to continue blocking proposed cuts to payments to private health care providers. This after an emotional rally at the Capitol where about 100 people expressed their opposition to those reductions. MTN's Jonathan Barian has more on the concerns raised.
About 100 people gathered on the Capitol's South Lawn Monday for the People Matter rally. Their message to lawmakers: proposed cuts to the state public health budget could be disastrous for older Montanans, those with disabilities, and the providers that care for them.
We called this rally today to put a face on the cuts that are being proposed right now.
Don't roll back our rights!
Many of the people in attendance represented care providers that are reimbursed for Medicaid services. The Department of Public Health and Human Services proposed cutting state payments to those providers by almost 3.5%. The plan is a response to a new law requiring spending cuts to address lower than expected revenues.
There's a severe caregiver shortage, and people are going without services already. It's just going to make that whole situation 10 times worse.
In addition to those cuts, the governor's office has asked state agencies, including DPHHS, to outline more proposed reductions as the budget picture worsens. Providers say those cuts would require them to reduce services even further. They say they understand the budget issues, but that leaders need to find another way to save money. Some argue these cuts will actually cost the state more over the long run by forcing people to get more expensive care at places like nursing homes or the state hospital.
If the governor or the legislature think that community-based services are expensive, wait until they get the bill from a max exodus of people going to institutionalized services.
People matter!
In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Another 2 wildfires will be receiving help from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. U.S. Senator John Tester announced that FEMA Disaster Assistance will be coming in to help fight the Highway 200 complex fires in Sanders County and the Moose Peak Fire in Sanders and Lincoln counties. The resources come in the form of fire management assistance grants and make FEMA funding available to pay 75% of the state's eligible firefighting costs. Senator Tester announced Sunday that the Alice Creek Fire near Lincoln and the Rice Ridge Fire near Seeley Lake and the West Fork Fire near Libby would also receive help from FEMA. Federal money had also been allocated for the Lolo Peak Fire late last month. The Sprague Fire, which has burned more than 14,000 acres in West Glacier, has seen minimal growth. The fire grew by about 750 acres Sunday, but improved visibility allowed 2 Canadian super scoopers to drop water from Lake McDonald onto the fire. Fire officials say the scoopers made good progress on reducing intensity on the western edge of that fire, dropping a total of 250,000 gallons of water. Fire behavior is expected to be moderate and to roll out and flank to the north on Mount Brown. Prior evacuation orders remain in place between the foot of Lake McDonald and Logan Pass as firefighting efforts continue. Structure protection work in the Lake McDonald Lodge area continues. A rain for rent system, which is now up and running. The irrigation system is set up along Snyder Creek in the Lake McDonald Lodge area. Regular Rainbird sprinkler heads are paralleling the Going to the Sun Road highway, and the 6-inch pipe is pumping up to 700 gallons of water a minute from that lake. Fire managers say their goal is to stop the fire at the Going to the Sun Road and not allow it to come to the side of the lodge. If it does reach the lodge, area managers are using the system to get the fuel moistures to increase to the point where they are totally unavailable to burn.
What we are doing here is we're wetting all of these fuels down. We're increasing that moisture content so that they're basically unavailable to burn. They won't support combustion. So we can have an ember land on it, but because they're wet, basically they won't ignite.
Smith says they have fire management action points set up and down the Going to the Sun Road all the way to Logan Pass. If the fire edge reaches a management action point, that will trigger the activation of additional assistance from local fire departments. All right, let's send on over to Lewis now this morning for your weather on the 8s.
All right, thank you, Justine. Good morning, everyone. Let's take a first look at a picture sent in to us yesterday by Aaron. Liberty Fire here in the background. This is from Salmon Lake. So, Aaron, thank you so much for this picture. Overall, very active day yesterday for fires, but not as bad as the smoke, not as bad as a hazy or smoky day, as we're starting to see it begin to clear out. Definitely not as bad as last week, but we are going to still keep this haze and smoke in the forecast for at least a couple more days, with it slowly clearing once again by the end of the week. Here's a look at your temperatures this morning. 39 in Kalispell, 37 Seeley Lake, 46 Phillipsburg, 47 in Sula, 45 right now in Missoula, 43 St. Regis. So another pretty chilly start to your day. All right, let's go ahead and time out the next couple days for you here. This is our Future Track satellite and radar. We're first going to stop this morning around 11:30 a.m. Sunny skies. Temperatures quickly going to warm up. We're going to be well above average, 80s and even some lower 90s in northwestern Montana by this afternoon, and then breezy in northwestern Montana. That's why we have that red flag warning in place. Things start to change tonight. Here comes the cooler temperatures in. So very early tomorrow morning, southwestern Montana, we're going to give about 20 to 30% chance of seeing a thunderstorm develop. And then again, by tomorrow morning, most of the storms we see tonight and tomorrow are going to be in southwestern Montana. Then as our storm system moves through, we're going to start to see the rain chances pick up. Widespread showers again Thursday and Friday, much cooler temperatures. Now we're able to get a better idea of what to expect. Most models are indicating rain starts out in eastern Montana during the morning on Thursday, then slowly works west into western Montana by late morning and pushing into the afternoon. So we have a better idea of how much rain we're talking about. Again, looks like the heaviest rain is going to be off to the east here in the orange. Could see an inch or more possible. Here as you head further west, Missoula, southwestern Montana, 3/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. And then the least amount is going to be right here in extreme northwestern Montana, with just about 1/10 to 3/10 of an inch possible by the time it's all said and done. Kalispell 7-day forecast, 84 today, 75 on Wednesday, 57 Thursday and Friday, 62 on Saturday. And then Hamilton 85 today, 78 tomorrow, 60 Thursday, 57 Friday, 63 on Saturday.
Very, very welcome changes there.
I love the rain, and those cool temperatures look very good as well. And Justine, throw this in there as well, the higher elevations by Thursday, Friday, could see a little bit of snowfall as well.
Even better, even better right now. All right, thanks, Lewis, and make sure you do stick around because we'll be back with more. But first, here's some birthdays for you this morning.